Yeah. Well, we tested it.
You are live. The floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. We're ready to jump into
Our special meeting for 4/13/22. Our third order of business is to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Is that?
Do you have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the previous minutes.
A motion second with discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passed. Next on the agenda is commercial property appeal results.
1, 2, 3. Right.
Okay.
You go into more.
I just need to see what's screen.
The first group we have were BOE hearing results from March 17th. And they're pretty much straightforward. All you can see, all of them were relatively not too much of a drastic change. You'll notice there's one second one up from the last 25% reduction. During that meeting, we had a lot of other appeals that supposedly were for 1 year only agreements, and a lot of COVID relief was mentioned during this meeting. So the Board of Equalization was giving them basically cuts for that reason, but they were all supposed to be for 1 year only. So we were trying to, now we're realizing that they couldn't be 1 year agreement. So because they showed up and had evidence and that thing, sort of thing. So this one in particular, though, was not part of the other group of the other appeals. He was just, it was a standalone one. But they decided he had no evidence and didn't show up, but they decided to give him a 1 year adjustment based on the same reason for the code. So that one showed 25%. Normally I probably would have recommended that one to the next level, but since it was 1 year only, we decided not to. So that was the reason for that one. The second group, go ahead.
This weekend, so I'm just concerned, how we send the presidents there, or could that be the presidents that others will find out and start doing that as well? For the commercial property owners, not have evidence, not show, if they get that same 1 year relief.
Well, that's, yeah, I can't answer that. We'd have to talk to the Board of Equalization and the chairman.
We'll get some special, just COVID exception.
I'm not sure.
Well, that would be a question to the Board of People, and I think that's their decision. Their decision.
Yeah. I'm just concerned, I guess, just the setting the precedent. Makes sense.
The thing is, though, for most part, if the taxpayer does not show, the law says that with no show, no evidence, it's just 1 year. Whatever is decided is for 1 year.
Okay, the second group, this is just commercial settlements. These were prior to the Board of Equalization. The only one was we got a little like 19% one, which the third one up from the bottom. Basically, these were agreed on making $52 a square foot. These are all in the same industrial area. So some of them look like they're more of a cut than others. You can see the lowest one's at 10 or 8%, the highest was 20%. Or 19.4%. So basically that was just based on their previous value and adjusted the percentage a little bit. But for uniformity, they're all based on $52 per foot. And the last one's just hearing offer settlements. They're all decent, okay with them. So that's pretty much it.
So the question, these are all based purely on square footage and not the market value of the business itself.
Well, just they're based on the business itself, but the cost value. But for agreement purposes, we just did $52 to be even. The income was down a little bit. When I ran the income performance, showed that we were a little higher on our valuations on the cost side. So we made a few adjustments on 3 out of 4 of them, I think, because the income showed down. The one that's the 19% in particular. We no change that one from 30-day letter from the Board of Assessors. So the other 4 were already adjusted before they decided to put them on the Board of Equalization. So, but for when after talking to the rep, that's when I looked back at this one and made an adjustment to the settlement, the $52 per foot. So basically, we're just all $52 per foot for the settlement. So if If you took that off, the values would be higher on all of them.
And see, that's squares with the way,
And that's with income, using income value and income approach, the value of the big case study class versus. Okay.
then
So we are using tuition method. It was not cost. It was so it's not just putting a number out of the cap, but it's an calculation technique using income. So it was weighted more to income than cost. And the value came out at $52 per square feet.
And on the hearing officer settlement 318, the first 5 are the same property with just different parcels on the property.
Correct.
All right, what was the overall percent for the overall property? Let's see if the cost, I was just curious, just around about what was the overall?
I would have to say probably, because we did these in a combined agreement based on an appraisal. They included them all in one on the appraisal. Probably about 17-18%, I would think. Overall, if you looked at them, nevertheless.
Yeah, that's supposed to be around that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was looking at the last one, 17. Yeah, if you look all together, probably around 11 or 12%. Because that was all those made up, the combined value, $3,400,000. So the settle value was positive on one of them, but it was negative on the rest of them, just keeping them off somewhat.
Okay.
That's it. So that's good.
Thank you for this. I entertain a motion to approve these items.
I think that I make a motion to approve the items from the DOE hearing results from 317 and 318 for commercial and the settlements. Second motion.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. That's constantly short. Next on the agenda is ownership of future changes. Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right. We have just a little bit to present to you today. I'm Adrian Martino. And we have 2 ownership corrections. Parcel 366, 18249. The ownership correction for Claude Gerald Teal Jr. and all. So only Claude Gerald Teal Jr. It's on the sheet that has the Douglas County General on it. And the small part that I have at the bottom, I put it on a separate sheet so we could be larger also. Okay, we do that again. Parcel number 366, 18249 is an ownership correction for Claude Gerald Teal Jr. and all to only Claude Gerald Teal Jr. by himself for tax year 2021 per deed book 3856, page 732.
Listen, you were kind of like,
It's for you.
I think somebody's
Yeah.
not on mute. If everyone could go on mute, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Per deed book 3856, page 732. It actually sold in September of 2020. It was a deed that we missed. There's no change in the value of $7,390. Next parcel that has an ownership correction is parcel 82358. The ownership correction is from Samuel R. and Diana Mello to Giallo and Allison Murphy as joint tenants with the Writers of Survivorship for tax year 2021 per deed book 3851, page 887. And they purchased it in August of 2020. Also, with no change in the value of $51,700. The BOE decisions are below. There's a second page where I put it a little larger so you could read it. And I think I'm near that page too. So I can read it. Okay. And these are the BOE decisions on March the 29th, 30th, and the 31st. Most of the changes were pretty decent, but I have 5 that I highlighted and I want to go over those 5. The first one is parcel 43252. It has a 15.8% change in value, and the BOE stated that the land value was a little too high per acre, and they lowered it some. Even though for 15.8% of the amount of that it was reduced is actually relatively small. On March the 30th, we have three. The biggest change at 63% is parcel 536, 18 to 12. And even though it has the largest percentage change, it went from 19,000 down to 7. It is a vacant lot where the owner is still the bank, I believe, and there was a tax rep that was in the hearing. It stated that it was unbuildable due to the drainage and the topo, and if they could have built on it, they would have put a house on it and made some money. But BOE did decide to reduce the to $7,000.
And do we concur with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I looked at it based on the appraiser. Okay, that. So we're not going to take that to the next level. We don't recommend that. Okay. The next biggest change at 17.7% is parcel 9258. And this was 3.3 acres on Banks Mill Road. The owner stated that the creek setbacks and the BOE stated that the land value was a little too high on that. So they reduced it some from 47,000 down to 47, but from 57.5 to 47. It seems like it's a large cut in value, but since the smaller numbers, it makes the percentage a little bit higher. We do, we're okay with that. The next parcel, 152-2533, is also vacant land. It's 14.11 acres. The owner, who is also an attorney, as he pointed out in the hearing for my appraiser, received an appraisal from 2020 for $96,000, and the board sort of went with that value and increased it somewhat for 2021, based on the land sales for the around the 1,400 acres. I'm sorry, 14 acres. We're fine with that cutting off also. The last one on March the 31st, parcel 706, 1822, is 1 acre with an older road. I don't know how familiar everybody is with that area. It's right near the Cobb line. It's between the barbecue place and the Beijing, which used to be a Wendy's on that off road over there. It's one of the houses on that side nearest the Cobb that backs up to some industrial and warehouses over that way. So my understanding is that he pointed that out a lot in the DOE hearing, and so the DOE reduced the value. Even though it is 32.8% cut, it's relatively a small cut in dollar values, and the 23,100 is actually the prior year value that the board put it back to. We do not recommend going any further to that. Any questions on the other decisions that were made?
The drainage is surrounded by industry.
You know exactly where that is, something, yeah. That's all I have. It's pretty short today.
Look at how we entertain motion to approve.
I can make a motion that we approve the DOE hearing decisions dated March 29th, 30th, and 31st.
Second. Motion and a second, this is the place for discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
You can do it next. Nothing not. No.
Good morning, Lonnie. How are you? Yes, not good.
So, did I do the with the copy there? I did not.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just have a couple of covenants to present this morning. The first parcel is 122,525. That's a vacant 9.50 acres on Post Road. This boat right is applying to renew. So this is agricultural hay field. I recommend approve. And then the next one, oh, and that was, yes. Okay. The next one is parcel 1052553. This is this boat right also. It's a vacant 34.74 acres. She applied for wildlife. It's a renewal. I recommend approve. And then the last one, we have a little bit of discussion. This property was entered into the covenant in 2017. The original owner, Nigran, sold this parcel to Rogers, who continued the covenant, who then sold it to Wilson, who continued the covenant, who then sold it to Martinez, who did not continue the covenant. This is parcel 628-133. It's just a vacant 8 acres. They apply for timber. I have sent a 30-day notice of intent to breach because it went past the deadline for them to continue. The third sale transfer, that owner not continuing, is what caused the intent to breach. So I have sent the letter to all parties involved. So this was just an update to let you know what's going on with this parcel at this time, because it will be coming back before you.
Just a question that reveals some of my ignorance. Is Mr. Nigran the one that is eventually responsible for the taxes? Since it was continued by the next
Nigran, all the previous owners will be held responsible because in those years that they had the covenant, they received tax break.
Okay.
And it goes back. So
they will be responsible, for the year it would stay on the land for the tax.
And then the current owner, Martinez, has the 30 days to rectify the breach, which means he should come in for that certified letter and continue the covenant to keep it from going into breach. If he does not in this 30-day window, then we will move forward with calling the breach on this. So
for today's meeting, what is the action item for the board?
that one's no action needed at this time. It's just a FYI.
Okay.
I just don't like to come in with a breach and surprise y'all, so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something.
She said it would become flags.
Yes, and hopefully we'll be back with a application. Excuse me, I'm sorry, it's the I sound horrible. Hopefully they'll be back in 30 days with their application, and that's what I'll bring before you for that one to be approved. And then the only other thing I have is just a few releases, Bob, that I'm going to need your signature on. And that was it.
Quick question, how much time is remaining on that? It doesn't reset for each new purchase.
The one that transferred,
Yeah.
It's continued under that current year that it went in.
Right.
And so it started in 2017. It'll expire in 2026.
Usually we have 4 more years on that.
Yeah, so they really need to continue it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. I was scared. Why is it selling so much? Why is it changing?
I can't figure that out either. I've been trying to ask, and no one will answer me. And I'm like, why are they even putting this in the covenant if they know going in that they're going to sell it and transfer it? Because I tell them, if you do this, there's always a possibility of a breach being called when you start transferring. And, and I've also explained to them, I do this with every person I sit down with, and I give them the book, the regulations, and I tell them, every time you make a change, it has to go back to the Board of Assessors for approval or disapproval. So I'm like, anything can happen on these, and I just suggest that you don't make any changes once you enter this in this covenant. But they do. And I don't know why this keeps selling like this.
Just out of curiosity, a couple of years ago, we had one on Austin Road, and they said, we're just going to pay the breach. We're going to pay the penalty. And then they changed their mind. It's just the same one?
That's where that is.
Because the reach, we're just $11,000 penalty. I'm a real high.
Yeah.
That changed your mind.
Yeah. 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 It was probably this one, because, it's just, I can't remember another one up there right now, but I'm gonna have to know.
Well, I would entertain a motion to approve the first two, applications.
I make a motion that we approve the first two applications of the April 13th tulip. Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you, Green.
Thanks, Dean. Y'all have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Finished business is next on this. And we have a proposed board meeting for this schedule. I'm good for the next one, April 22nd. Okay. Well, let's,
I'd like to make a motion that we do not adopt formal Board of Assessors meeting schedule for 2022 calendar year.
any discussion. I'm okay with it. That's very enough. I don't know. I'm gonna put you guys in mind anyway. It's not assignable. Each meeting is fine with me. And cities work very well. But have a little bit of flexibility.
Yeah. What I like about this though is that it does, from a planning perspective, it give you a look, you know, if I know June 29th is not good, we can handle that early as opposed to.
And that's it. And for also the recording, our media department, they do it, so they can plan ahead too, but we can do it. They're every weekend.
Well, all people concerned, basically on my schedule, I just assume about every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
Right.
Typically.
Yeah.
And I'll probably go off on vacation and in July. And I will look at it and I will try to make my vacation work. I have a Tuesday or Wednesday meeting. And then I have
It's missing a.
I leave right after a meeting and then I'm coming back right before meeting.
That'll work.
And if I can't make it, I'll work for it. I'll see. I'm gonna be doing something really important in Oregon.
Yeah, that's right.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I will endeavor to make your feet.
Right. Yeah, and I like, you know, again, this flexibility is things like the, you know, like we have 2.0.0 Thursday deviation, and I know some of these meets are well, oh my God, but this thing.
And sometimes they fall on the decent one. Anyway, we have a motion and second. We have discussed it. All in favor, say aye.
Who was the most in the second?
I mean,
If there are chiefs, afraid to have you.
Nothing to discuss today. Because Treasury Longs doing new hires, interviewing, and doing what we need to do to get the revaluation done so we can get our notices out on time. Michael, would you like to come in here since you're online?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. Are we going into executive session
Yeah, we can move to executive session.
to discuss a personnel issue? And I think we need only the board and Steve present.
Yeah, we're gonna Michael, I'm gonna recommend that you call, I'll call you I'll just do it on this because we're unable to get anybody. We're gonna mute the conference.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we're gonna mute the conference.
Okay. So you're gonna call me on this phone?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, I'll hang up.
Yeah, mute and video.
Adrian, can you hear me?
Sarah, we're moving to executive session.
Okay, here I'm getting the instructions on how to move you into executive session. Do you have a moment?
Can we do it after for the next executive session? Dennis, we'll do it for the next one.
Okay.
Thanks, appreciate you.
They're doing it for the next executive session. I don't know what that means. I think they're doing a phone call right now.
Okay. Is the phone call supposed to be private or are they going into executive session?
They had Mr. Coleman come on, so I'm in front of your computer now.
Okay, so in OBS, you'll have to just minimize Chrome. You need to hit on the bottom audio line, you need to hit that red mute button.
Okay, so I see OBS. You said to minimize that.
Minimize Chrome, don't minimize OBS. You need OBS to go into executive session, or at least tell the public that you're going into executive session. So, in OBS, if you're looking at that window at the bottom, there should be a mute sign on the very bottom line. You want to hit that mute button. And then over to your left, you'll see in a box, it'll say like meeting, stills. Look for an area that says break.
Hold on.
Click that.
Oh, these crazy little mouse things. Okay. Chrome. I cannot do this doggone thing. Okay, let's see. You're just gonna have to do your sticky thing back. Let me get it. Minimize Chrome.
Yeah, just so that it's not in your way.
Okay, now I see OBS where it has the
Okay.
stop stream, stop record, and all of that.
Leave that alone.
Okay.
Don't touch that.
Okay.
At the bottom, you see where there's like audio lines?
Yeah.
Okay, the very bottom line, you'll see a red mute button.
Oh, it's not red though.
Is it white?
Yeah.
Okay, click it anyway.
get back on the lines.
We are. Finish, we're back and out of executive session. So I have nothing else. I think we've covered all we need to cover for today. So it's back to you, Mr. Board Chair.
Well, yesterday or the business is just set the next day. I'm open April 26th and 28th.
That's fine.
Which is more April. The Tuesday or the third.
I don't know. I'm saying two. Either I'll say two. I'll say Tuesday. Anything, but that was on. You know, already.
So this time around April the 26th.
Okay. So just let's do this for two.
It's
So next meeting day, April 26th, which is Tuesday, April 26th. At 9 a.m.
we had a motion to adjourn. I make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn. Sorry.
A motion and second. All in favor say aye. Motion passed. We're adjourned. Resolution trip.
Signatures necessary.
Yes.
We have adjourned. Sarah Phyllis, can